How's it going, folks? So, in light of the coverage of the recent mass killings, I'm again going to chime my 2 cents in on this. And for those who don't know my opinion on the issue of killing sprees has really not changed since the 90s all that much. There are usually a couple of constants with this. In fact, I can think of three off my head. Person goes in there, or persons sometimes go in there with the intent on killing as many people as possible. There's a massive media reaction. They spread that all over their networks, write articles about it, yada, yada, yada. Don't let us hear the end of it for a while. And there are political actors that, before the bodies even are cold, will immediately jump on that tragedy to exploit it for their own political gain, power, and usually as an excuse to infringe upon rights they just don't approve of and don't like and would rather them not exist. And those are the three common things that I've noticed it with it. Now, with the advent of social media, it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, spree killers, some of them in recent years have posted their stuff to social media, you know, in an attempt for probably more notoriety. But the other edge to that is now, with the World Wide Web and everything like that, other people can chime in. And the establishment class really hates the latter because now they no longer have total control over the narrative. They don't have a monopoly on the narrative anymore that gets disseminated at a rapid pace. So, there is something that should have been learned a long time ago from these killing sprees. And I know some people already know this, but it's almost as if the general public at large does not understand this concept. What these killing sprees have shown us. And that is the police are not always going to be there to protect you. And there are going to be times when the police, even if they are there, are going to be unwilling to protect you. One of the things that got brought up with the Q Club shooting, which was stopped by people who were not police officers. One of the things that got brought up was Uvalde, and the gun controllers, leftists in general, were making the claim, well, armed men didn't do anything in Uvalde, but, two unarmed men did something at the Q Club. Yet they unironically leave out the fact that they're proposing monopolizing black rifles to only those people who didn't do anything in Uvalde. But, the people who would have stopped, who did stop the massacre in the Q Club, well, no, since they're not police, they can't have black rifles. Yeah, I know. It's hard to wrap your mind around leftist logic. It's largely because it doesn't exist. Yeah, the lesson is the police are not always going to be there to protect you, and sometimes may be unwilling to protect you. This is why you should strongly consider getting one of these, learning to use it, carrying it wherever possible. The answer is not banning these things. Banning these things do not stop mass killings. They do not stop killing sprees. And I know these same gun controllers are making the claim it doesn't happen in other countries. Well, sure it does. I mean, they've had several spree killings in Russia here over the last couple of years. Southeastern Asian country, they were having one or two killing sprees. And really, even a lot of these European countries, they have killing sprees still. The thing is that killing sprees are a statistical anomaly. And with statistical anomalies, they're really hard to track. But the one common thing that these statistical anomalies have in common, obviously, is the person's trying to rack up a body count. And usually the best way to stop them is when another person is there with a firearm. And honestly, usually that armed bystander there is just as capable as a police officer at stopping it. Hence that incident in Indiana a couple of months ago. A person by the name, I believe, Elijah Dickens, stopped a would-be spree killer before it became a killing spree, by the way. I remember not Sutherland Springs, although, yes, Sutherland Springs was eventually stopped by another armed citizen with an AR-15, but White Settlement. There was an attempted mass killing in White Settlement a couple years back. That was also stopped by an armed citizen by the name of Jack Wilson. And yet, the ironic thing is that both the incident in White Settlement that Jack Wilson stopped and the one at the mall in Indiana, which Elijah Dickens stopped, in both cases, the gun controllers heaped all sorts of hatred on both Jack Wilson and Elijah Dickens. It was almost as if they were sore that both of those people used firearms and stopped mass killings. And they were far more effective and saved more lives than the people who stopped the mass killer in the Q Club. Not to take away from the person who stopped the mass killer in the Q Club, but it's just when you have the proper tools, it makes the job a lot easier. And this is what many of us gun rights advocates, us 2A advocates, have to say on the issue. So, with that being said, I'm going to leave it at that. And you guys know that you have the comment section below. I'm a free speech channel, which unfortunately people on my opposition tried to exploit the Q Club incident and probably still are doing so in order to violate not just the Second Amendment, but the First Amendment as well. But me, I'm a big believer in both, so you guys have the comment section below. Y'all take it easy out there and have a great day.